Good morning, everyone. Thank you so much for coming to the launch of our inaugural Upcycle Challenge. How's everyone doing this morning? Woo! Better than that? Come on. Warm-up person. So welcome to all our guests, the media, our sponsors, and our incredible volunteers and staff of Habitat Edmonton. Thank you for joining us. My name is Amber Lasham, and I'm the Vice President of Sustainability and Impact with Habitat for Humanity Edmonton, and I'm thrilled to be your moderator this morning. So I'm going to actually kind of go a little bit off script, not really off script, but I am going to flip the order, and I'm going to introduce our upcyclers before I talk about the challenge and let you all know what this is about that we're launching today. So to my immediate left here, we have Des Malenka, who is the co-founder of the Creative Hive. And then to the next left over, we have Carolyn Wenzel, who's the owner of Village Vibe Furniture. And on the far left is Jennifer Grimm, the founder of Luxe Beauty Boutique. So thank you so much for joining us and being our first participants in the Upcycle Challenge. We're really thrilled to have you all here. So, so the Upcycle Challenge is going to run from today, August 15th, until October 16th. So you guys have 2 months, which I've been told is a lot of time, but also not a lot of time, particularly for creative individuals who can get sidetracked. Not sidetracked, but maybe sometimes take on more than they can chew. I'm the same way. So these local DIYers are going to be sharing their do-it-yourself tips, competing against each other by transforming, well, it says one piece of furniture, but I have a sinking suspicion that it might be a little bit more than that. And the finished products are going to be auctioned off with all proceeds raised supporting Habitat for Humanity Edmonton's buyback program. So you guys are going to be inspiring people, and you're going to be helping raise funds for an incredible cause. So thank you very much. So, like I mentioned, the Upcycle Challenge is in support of Habitat Edmonton's buyback program, which allows families, when they're ready to sell their home back to Habitat, we refinish the home, or we just make any kind of improvements that are necessary, and then that house goes on to serve another family in the Habitat home ownership program. So, one house gets to serve many families and change many lives. And it's kind of in the spirit of upcycling and making sure that things have a purpose-driven life longer than just one use. So during the program, you'll be able to follow along on Habitat Instagram and Facebook, as well as the social media channels of our influencers. And there's going to be tips and tricks and inspiration and a lot of fun. And so I would encourage everyone to make sure they're following our influencers. We'll make sure that your Instagram handles are all shared. And Habitat Edmonton's main social media is at Habitat EDM on Instagram. This is also a great place to learn more about our social enterprise Restore. We're in the Sherwood Park Restore this morning, and this is a business that helps support Habitat. All the products are donated, and all the proceeds through the sales at the store support our mission and support the delivery of homeownership to families in Northern Alberta. In the end of the challenge, all the products are going to be on display at the Fall Edmonton Home Show, and the followers are going to have the opportunity to vote on the finished product that they like best to help crown our People's Choice winner for 2022. And the finished products are also going to be auctioned off to raise funds for Habitat. So I've already done the introductions, so you know what? Nobody is here to hear me talk because I cannot upcycle. Can't. Just haven't tried. Might be inspired to give it a go. I haven't tried yet, but I am crafty, so I might be able to figure it out. We'll see. But I'm really excited to have a conversation with you guys and hear more about your stories and what's exciting you about this project. So my first question is for all of you, and we'll kind of just go on order, left to right. So what are you looking forward to most during Habitat's inaugural Upcycle Challenge? Des, we'll start with you.
I think just the opportunity to share the excitement around upcycling and to help people to spark that imagination so that when you see something, you don't just see something old, you see the possibility. And it gives people a chance to do things with their own hands. And right now it can get a little tight month to month for so many of us, and even more so as the world continues to change. So if we can look at things we already have or things that we can get and do something different with them, I think we're going to help a lot of people.
That's so amazing, you know, so true, and so in the spirit of what we do at Habitat. So thank you. Carolyn?
100%.
I'll share. It's red. So I 100% agree with you, Des. And for me, when I look at some of the older pieces, the vintage pieces, they're actually better constructed than some of the pieces that you would get. Not to diss, you know, some of the places where you have to assemble it, but these are quality pieces. And I gravitate towards, you know, clean lines, mid-century pieces, and that's really current right now. So you can take something vintage that's really good quality, keep it out of the landfill, upcycle it, and you've got an incredible, unique piece. And so if you have the right tips and tools, other people can be successful as well. So I'm really hoping to inspire more people to try upcycling, because it's really not that intimidating.
I'm inspired, so you know, I'll make the commitment now. I'm going to do a piece in the challenge. So thanks. It's not going to win anything, trust me. But I am going to try. Jen, what say you?
Okay, good. Well, I completely agree with what's been said already, and then in addition to that, the things I'm looking forward to are sharing the process on Instagram. I'm already thinking of fun stories to do, especially because it's one thing, DIY or upcycling can have a full range of skill and difficulty, and so you can have something that's a full-on overhaul, or something is, hey, did you know that using this cleaning method works really well? So this is my trick for taking that piece that you love and actually making it something you want to have in your home. So that's one. And then the second thing, is not just the individual pieces, because of course we're surrounded by furniture, but it's about the styling. So there's so many great like lamps and picture frames and mugs that you can use as pen holders, you know, just finding those neat things that catch your eye and creating a whole scene with it. So, yeah.
I love that. I love that you're bringing up cleaning tips, because even if somebody's not feeling ambitious enough to take on an upcycle project, there's probably that piece that's well loved in their home that could just use a little bit of a spruce up, and it's a great way to dip your toe into maybe not completely refinishing, but just giving it a little bit of new life. So that's a really great call out and really exciting to hear that. Des, I'm going to come back to you. So you're always working on fun projects at Creative Hive. Where do you find your inspiration?
Honestly, I find it in magazines, I find it in Pinterest and on Instagram, and when you're going through Instagram, oh, I love that room. Well, the Creative Hive is a small business and it's only been open for a few years, so $5,000 and $10,000, it's just not an option. So how do you take the looks of what you see on your curated social media accounts and then create them yourself? And also, what's fun? Like, you walk through places like this and what turns your head? And they're so right, it's not necessarily just furniture, but all of the picture frames at the Creative Hive are upcycled. All of the coffee mug, everything in there that we could possibly create a new life for, we have. And it's just, it's kind of like my happy place. It's where I go if I'm having one of those days, you know, those days. Walk through one of those, Goodwill, Habitat for Humanity, any of these places, and it's just like, okay, here we go.
I think that it's sort of a happy place, because it's that sense of possibility and sense of exploration that you get walking through a store like this and finding things that could be reimagined in such a cool way. You know, there's a couple of restaurants in Edmonton that have found objects that have all been painted white and have complete gallery walls of just white objects. And it looks incredible. So having that sense of possibility and that sense of discovery, I think, is so huge. So thanks for inspiring Edmontonians on that, and people all over. Carolyn, I'm going to pop over to you. So one of your signature design elements in your projects is using wallpaper, which I love. I love wallpaper. I'm so glad it's back in a big way. What's your secret to successfully working with this material?
Well, I love wallpaper as well, and I feel like it's such an overlooked material. And I've used it in different ways, and so it's really important that you kind of pair the wallpaper with the style of the piece that you're working with. but I've put it in the back of a hutch just to give that a pop. And if you are putting it on top of a surface, which you definitely can, it's really important that you put a really good protective top coat on, and not just one coat, but a few. And the paste is really important, so you want to get a perfect adhesion so that there's no curling of the edges. And you instantly have something that's very custom and it looks high-end. And so I don't put it on all my pieces, but I definitely love to use paper.
I think that's awesome, and I'm going to challenge you a little bit because you talk about finding a wallpaper that kind of matches the style of the piece that you're working about. But what about a juxtaposition? I mean, doing a very classic piece, but with some kind of a little bit more of a cheeky, fun print, maybe something that is pop art inspired or something. Have you seen that done successfully?
Absolutely, and I follow some designers in the UK, and they have incredible papers that you can choose from, and I've discovered some of them ship to Canada, and they literally are a work of art that they put across the front, and it is like pop art on something sometimes very classic, and I just love that.
That's awesome. Jen, question for you. You just finished a major renovation and posted that most of the materials that you used were thrifted, vintage, or repurposed. So why did you choose reusing over purchasing new? I know it kind of ties back to an earlier question, but maybe there's another reason?
For sure. So in my career with my store, Lux Beauty, and with our rental properties, and about to launch Airbnb apartments, my design ambition has far outweighed my budget. And also when you start, you know, in your 20s, I want to put together my first apartment, you get used to that lifestyle and that. And so it's a bit of a sticker shock to go and see what real prices are. And then it's so much more gratifying, right? Just like you said about the possibilities and the challenge and the uniqueness. So let's see, we were talking about my apartments that yes, and so to have just something that's really a unique, okay, yes, my passion is to create spaces that serve their communities with purpose and with delight. And the best way that I can do that is when I have just curated the special pieces, the things that make people stop and go, oh my gosh, like, wow, this is so cool. And it, you know, that of course fills your heart. And then also, as I was saying with the budget, the fact that you can stretch and do so much more when you're into the vintage life. And then on top of that, it's just so important to me, the earth, the environmentalism. I mean, it's been how many decades now of talking about the importance of reducing, of reusing, which are the two way more important steps than recycling. And when it comes to the construction industry, it's just such a culprit for what's in our landfills. It's absolutely absurd. So anything that I can do to help in that regard, it's definitely, I'm all over it.
That's amazing, and I'm the same way. The circular economy is such a big thing for me, and it's not just about preventing things that still have useful life from ending up in the landfill, but also by reducing our reliance on new products, there's less virgin materials being used. There's less carbon outputs being created through the production and the shipping. So shopping at a place like Restore really opens people up to that potential of furnishing their home, furnishing their life, creating beauty in the world while also maintaining the beauty of the world and supporting our families, supporting families that need help in getting into home ownership and getting into the market. So I'm super passionate about this. I could sit here and talk with you guys for a while, but I know that we're gonna go through the store and find the products that you guys are gonna be working with and, you know, get a little bit of inspiration. But before we do that, I just wanted to mention that Habitat Edmonton has an incredible team of volunteers that for many years has upcycled products found from the Restore, and those products have been sold in Restore, finished upcycle projects that help support our mission and help raise those funds. And so I wanted to spend a really special thank you to those volunteers who I'm sure are going to be continuing to do their upcycle projects and continue to participate along. And hopefully we're going to be inspiring more and more Edmontonians and people from Northern Alberta to visit the Restore, to take on projects of their own, to support this incredible cause, and to help keep our planet beautiful and safe. So thank you, ladies, so much for joining us today. Thank you, everyone, for being here. And have an amazing time with this challenge. It's going to be so much fun to follow along, and I can't wait to see the finished projects. So thank you.